ordeal is finally going to be over for some 250 Nepali students who are homebound from the war-torn Israel. The chartered flight led by Minister for Foreign Affairs NP Saud will land in Nepal past midnight tonight. Some 400 Nepali nationals, mainly students, had registered their name for evacuation from Israel. The government is yet to announce the second evacuation flight, while the repatriation of the dead bodies is still likely to take some more time. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Some 250 Nepali nationals, mainly students, returning from Israel past midnight tonight. Minister for Foreign Affairs NP Saud leading the evacuation flight back home. Mao Center's Indra Ango stakes his claim as the new Chief Minister of Koshi province to seek the support of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party for government formation. Israel says the siege of Gaza will not end until Hamas releases Israeli hostages. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza could prolong without electricity and water. And Quinton de Kock's century takes the Proteas past 300 against Australia. Aidan McCrum chips in with a half-century. The wide-body aircraft of Nepal Airlines, which had taken off to evacuate Nepali students from conflict-hit Israel, is scheduled to land around 1:30 a.m. past midnight tonight. The chartered aircraft of Nepal Airlines, led by Minister for Foreign Affairs NP Saud, left Tel Aviv around 5 p.m. earlier this afternoon. A usual flight from Tel Aviv to Kathmandu takes about 7 hours. However, we have not been able to independently verify whether the chartered flight will make a stopover to fill fuel or it will directly land in the capital's Tribhuvan International Airport. A total of 250 students pursuing agriculture studies in the southern Gaza region of Israel and the northern part adjoining Lebanon are to be evacuated from the aircraft. A separate arrangement is to be made for the return of the Nepali nationals who could not be accommodated in the 250-seat capacity aircraft. Meanwhile, search is still underway for Bipin Joshi, who is reported missing since Saturday morning when Hamas militants launched a surprise attack on Israel. According to the ministry, bodies of 10 Nepali nationals killed by Hamas can only be repatriated after handover by the Israel government following completion of necessary procedures. Parliamentarians have demanded for an answer from the government on the reasons behind Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nepal's Gunji village that has been encroached by India. As the session of the House of Representatives began today, Rashtriya Swatantra Party lawmaker Rabi Lamichhane questioned if the government had knowledge of the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Nepali territory. Lawmaker of main opposition CPN-UML Surya Thapa demanded the Speaker to issue a ruling to the government and furnish details to the Parliament regarding Modi's visit. Speaking during the special hour, other lawmakers demanded the government monitor and control unnatural price hikes on consumable goods ahead of the festivities. A few lawmakers also demanded the Speaker to present the clear picture of the country's current economic situation. Parliamentarians also drew the government's attention towards ensuring the safety of Nepali nationals stranded in war-torn Israel and for immediate rescue. In another context, a few other lawmakers urged the government to address the demands of agitated local-level staff. At today's meeting, the bill related to anti-money laundering, which was approved by the Law and Justice Committee, was tabled. Chairperson of the committee, Bimala Subedi, informed once the bill was endorsed, 19 amendments would be made to the Act, which would help control financial crimes. Today's meeting also agreed to forward the Community School Education Bill to the respective parliamentary committee for deliberations. The next meeting of the House of Representatives has been called for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Meanwhile, the government is preparing to conclude the ongoing session tomorrow itself. Hearing on the writ filed against the presidential pardon administered to Yograj Thakal alias Regal on the occasion of the Constitution Day has been rescheduled for 31st of October. The hearing that had begun earlier today under the full bench of Chief Justice Bishambar Prasad Shrestha and Justices Ananda Mohan Bhattrai and Kumar Regmi was rescheduled after law practitioners raised question on the legitimacy of the hearing, saying that the justices prior to this had already issued a verdict on similar cases. During the hearing, law practitioners Tej Bahadur Katwal and Balkrishna Neupane, among others, had presented their arguments on behalf of the writ petitioner. The hearing was rescheduled after the law practitioners, on behalf of the government, started presenting their defense. The bench said that a regular hearing will only resume from 31st of October after Dasai holidays. The single bench of Supreme Court Justice Manoj Sharma had demanded justifications from the government for providing presidential pardon. The Supreme Court had issued an order in the name of the Ministry of Home Affairs to arrange security for the family of writ petitioner Bharti Sherpa until a verdict on the case is issued. The Supreme Court had ordered to prioritize the case and to hold the hearing on the next day of the issued date in case of a holiday. The Supreme Court order includes that hearing on the case will not be postponed. As per the order, application to postpone the hearing cannot be filed. Indra Ango of CPN Maoist Centre has staked his claim to become the Chief Minister of Koshi Province. The ruling alliance had earlier in the day decided to put forth Ango as the Koshi Province Chief Minister. The meeting of the ruling alliance held earlier today at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar decided to put forth the Provincial Assembly leader of CPN Maoist Centre, Indra Ango, for the post of Koshi Province Chief Minister. Vice Chairperson of Maoist Centre, Agni Prasad Sapkota, said that the ruling alliance parties have reached a consensus to file the candidacy of Ango as per the power-sharing deal between the ruling parties. Chief Whip of Nepali Congress in Koshi Province, Bhupendra Rai, also confirmed the development. He said that preparations are underway to submit the signatures, including those from the Provincial Assembly members of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, to the province governor. Meanwhile, RPP has yet to make a decision regarding their support to the province government. RPP has been maintaining that midterm election in Koshi province must be prevented. RPP Chair Rajendra Lingden has called the meeting of the office bearers tomorrow to discuss the power equation of Koshi province. There are a total of 47 members in Koshi Province Assembly from ruling alliance partners in Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Centre, CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party. Likewise, CPN UML has 39 members in the Province Assembly, excluding the Speaker, while Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has 6 members. Support from 47 members is required to form the province government that has a total of 93 members. The province governor Parshuram Khapung had allocated a deadline until 5 p.m. tomorrow for the formation of a majority government under sub-article 5 of Article 168 of the Constitution. Vice President Ram Sahaya Prasad Yadav has been admitted to civil hospital in capital's Baneshwar after his health condition reported some complications. The Vice President, who had been tested positive for dengue infection after reporting symptoms including fever and nausea, has been admitted to hospital. According to the Vice President's personal doctor, the health condition of the Deputy Head of the state is currently stable. Health professionals have identified decrease in platelets volume. Doctors say Vice President Yadav will be discharged after improvement in his health condition. CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal has criticized Bak District administration, citing failure to control smuggling among other illegal activities from the border. Speaking during an assembly organized in Kohalpur, Bak, after the meeting with traders and business persons of the district, former Prime Minister Nepal said that he will draw the Prime Minister's attention towards the security body's failure in preventing cross-border illegal activities. Nepal, who has reached Bak for the party's awareness campaign, said that corruption has been increasing at the district-level administrations amid government's failure to control corruption and maintain good governance. Chair Nepal pointed out that the problems of lack of security, corruption and cross-border illegal activities are not limited to a particular area, but it is a matter of public concern. He accused the officials of Bak District administration for providing assistance to conduct such activities and called on the government to monitor the situation. The private sector has urged the government to form an economic commission to address the dire needs of the country's reeling economy. They urge to include economists, government officials and representatives from the private sector in the commission to analyze and make suggestions for the improvement of policies. During a national economic dialogue program held in the capital by the Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry (FNCCI), representatives of the private sector said the government and central bank's lenient policy had dented the country's economy. They were of the opinion that the lifting of ban on plotting lands and expansion of margin lending had affected economic growth. They called for a reform to economic policies that have remained almost same for over 3 decades. During the event, which was also attended by Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, industrialists opined there was growing distrust among general public towards the country's economic system, which had discouraged investments and demands in the market. They poured frustration, saying issuing of loans had not taken desired pace, and the government was also at fault for failing to make use of its development budget. Furthermore, they highlighted the mass exodus of workforce had left domestic industries to rely on foreign workers. In response, Prime Minister Dahal assured the business fraternity that the government's fiscal policy and programs for upcoming year would be transformative and expressed commitment to form a commission as per their demand. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. Here's the question: what should be done to permanently solve the problem of food insecurity in Karnali? Options are A. Promote local crops, B. Modernize agriculture, and C. Sustainable infrastructure. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Israel has said the siege of Gaza will not end until Israeli hostages are released. This means electrical switch won't be turned on, there will be no water hydrant opened and no fuel truck will enter. At least 150 hostages were taken into Gaza during Hamas's deadly attacks on Israel at the weekend that killed 1,200 people. A similar number of people have been killed in Gaza since Israel launched retaliatory airstrikes, with 338,000 displaced. Last night, the only power station in Gaza ran out of fuel, meaning the territory is relying on generators. And the International Committee of the Red Cross has warned hospital generators could run out of fuel today. The Israeli military has said its airstrikes are targeting Hamas's huge networks of tunnels. Officials in Gaza say the enclave faces humanitarian catastrophe, with the territory's only power plant shutting down due to a lack of fuel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised to destroy Hamas following the armed group's surprise attack, as he announced an emergency unit government with opposition leader Benny Gantz. The Ministry of Health in Gaza has updated the death toll of Palestinians to 1,354 killed and 6,049 injured. 1,300 people have been killed in Israel. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees has said a total of 12 of their employees have been killed. The government media office in the Gaza Strip just issued a statement this afternoon, warning that the delay in response to the relief appeal is turning the besieged enclave into a mass grave. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel earlier today on a Middle East mission to prevent a wider war from erupting after an attack and hostage-taking by Palestinian militants Hamas and an Israeli bombardment of the Gaza Strip. Blinken will first meet with Israeli President Isaac Herzog, then travel to Jerusalem to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later in the day. Before boarding a plane bound for Israel, Blinken said he will work with regional U.S. allies to try to secure the release of more than 100 people that Israel says Hamas holds captive, some of whom may be American citizens. At least 22 Americans were killed during the attack, Blinken said, warning the number will probably go up. China's foreign ministry said earlier today that 3 Chinese nationals had been killed during attacks by the Palestinian Hamas militant group in Israel this past weekend. Speaking at a regular press briefing, spokesperson Wang Wenbin said 2 more citizens were still missing and several were injured. Hamas militants breached the border fence enclosing the Gaza Strip enclave on Saturday, rampaging through towns and villages while taking scores of hostages. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Some 250 Nepali nationals, mainly students returning from Israel past midnight tonight. Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. Saud leading the evacuation flight back home. Mao Centre's Indra Ango stakes his claim as the new Chief Minister of Koshi province to seek the support of Rashtriya Prajatantra Party for government formation. Israel says the siege of Gaza will not end until Hamas releases Israeli hostages. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza could prolong without electricity and water. And Quinton de Kock century takes the Proteas past 300 against Australia at the ICC World Cup 2023. Aiden Makram chips in with a half-century. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.